Hello guys, this is Christopher Park and today I am doing the theme Refugees Fleeing Wars from Medieval World to Modern World. And let me tell you about this. From medieval to modern world, refugees have experienced war, oppression, and religious violence in their nation and want to get a better life by migrating into different. For my first medieval example, many refugees who were known as foreigners or aliens escaped to England from many wars and invasions they were experiencing with. The reason why they escape is that they think England is strong against their enemies and has buildings that can protect them from invaders or other enemy soldiers they despise. Unfortunately, the Parliament imposed a special tax for the refugees to pay as a different area of people than others from 1400 to 1485. But I think that the Parliament should treat them as their own citizens, even though they are refugees that came to a country where they think it will protect them from violence. The next medieval example that I want to show you is when the Hungarians escaped their country from the Mongols in the 1200s. During that time, the Mongols were conquering many areas from Asia to Europe, but when they reached Hungary, there were many people escaping from the terror of their invasion. The reason why the Hungarians escaped is that they heard news from neighboring countries that the Mongols did horrible things like slaughtering captured people and pulling them in packs. After that, they have escaped to Dalmida and went to places where they feel that they are protected from them. In Dalmida, the Hungarians were treated with human kindness and hospitality from people that helped and supported them of what they need. From both of the two medieval examples I did, they had different reasons of them becoming refugees of the conflicts they were involved with. For example, Syria is having a civil war against the government, and has destroyed many cities and killed millions of their citizens, so many of them are fleeing from their homeland. There is a lot of Syrian refugees that are migrating to Europe or other countries to get a better life. The reason why refugees are going to different countries is that they want to get a new life to enjoy with their family and not worry about the hardships they have experienced. But it is hard for them to go to the countries they want to live because they have to survive by going on boats or running to borders of different countries to continue their migration. When the refugees arrive to the country they hope to go, the government allows about less than 1 million people to sign up for asylums, even though there are more than 1 million people that are desperate to find a new life. The leaders of the nations where the refugees want to stay should help them of understanding their situation of what made them go to the place they want to go. Another example that I want to show for my thesis is that there is a Rohingya refugee crisis in Asia, where they are fleeing from Myanmar. The Rohingyas are a group of Muslims that came from Bangladesh to Myanmar and have faced religious violence in Myanmar. The reason why the Rohingyas are fleeing from Myanmar is that they face persecution against the Buddhists where they live and religious violence where other Buddhists do horrible things to them. When they flee to other countries, the government does not allow them to permanently settle there, so they have to deal their life of going to other countries that will provide support for them. The southeast countries where the Rohingya refugees escaped to should provide them with comfort of giving them good shelter for them to know their situation, instead of not giving them a chance to stay permanently. These refugees should be treated with what they need because they are innocent citizens that are terrorists of the violence that the Buddhists in Myanmar did to them. The two examples that I have shown involves different problems that leads them to become a refugee, but both of them have the same hope. They do not have the life we have and want to support their family from escaping the terror and migrating into different countries as they start to know that their life is changing. Unfortunately, the countries that has the refugees will have to raise taxes to support them, and the citizens will eventually rebel against the government and causing the paradigm to repeat itself. But to solve the refugee crisis, the leaders that are losing their people should stop the ongoing violence they have in their nation and unite with each other to help their citizens live a happy. This is why refugees impact the world, but other countries need to help them and understand about them to solve their problems of what made them into refugees with oppression, religious violence, and war in their nation from medieval to modern world. To this day, we know the parallels between medieval and modern world of the refugees fleeing wars of what they were doing to become refugees.
Created using Powtoon.